Hello and welcome to the Team Tech. Today we will be doing a budget gaming PC build. And this PC actually isn't that bad for the price. Our price point is our price range with everything out the door with tax $250. So it's a ridiculously cheap PC and we basically got to our budget. We basically got within our budget. So obviously this isn't gonna be playing, your latest AAA titles at 60 frames per second, but you'll be able to play most indie games and a lot of older games too. And there's some area for upgrade too. Not a ton because we are restricted due to the price point. But in the future, you could put another good, I'd say, $125 into this and really improve it a lot, and really increase the amount of games you can play. And so just to get out of the way, I'm getting everything today or from Micro Center, just because there's two big reasons. First of all, Micro Centers are all over the country. I like the stores; they're pretty accessible. Just I haven't had really any complaints. Pretty competitive pricing, and secondly, there are a lot of online vendors such as Amazon or Newegg. And while if you don't have a Micro Center near you, this could be a great option. If you don't have a brick and mortar option near you, this also would be a great option, or even Micro Center website is an option for you. But one reason is when you have a $250 price point, I said $250 out the door. I didn't say $250 plus shipping. So especially when you're going for these lower, I'm not gonna say like cheap parts, but lower grade parts, a lot of times free shipping will not be included. So you really want to consider that. So let's just get started. We're going to be starting with our CPU and motherboard. We are going to get a bundle from Micro Center, and you'll see why in a second. It's very cheap. The processor we are getting is an A6 6400K Black Edition processor from AMD. It's an okay motherboard. It's dual core, and while a lot of games will use 4 cores now, utilize them, they don't really require 4 cores. And for our price points, we'll definitely get the job done. 3.9 gigahertz. 4.1 gigahertz turbo speed, and so obviously only 2 threads, but it's still it's still okay. And the other thing too is it has integrated Radeon HD 8470D graphics, and that's actually the graphics card we're going to be using right now. And in the future, that's probably be my first upgrade. Would probably be just to add a committed graphics card, something pretty cheap, probably like a, I don't know, a GeForce GT 620, 630, maybe even a GTX 650. But I really wouldn't go, more than that. And there, it is upgradable. You do have that option. For our motherboard, we're going with an MSI FM2 A75MA P33 socket FM2 MATX motherboard. It's all on the screen for you there. And I don't love this motherboard. It's very basic and bare bones, but it gets the job done. I'm not a huge fan of MSI, but they're still a large company. They're still a reliable company. You have an expansion slot for your graphics card, and the big thing, the two reasons I do like this is because it does support onboard graphics, which is what we're going to be using, at least, for the beginning to keep it in the price range, and it has 6 SATA 6 ports. That's really good. Even in a high-end PC, you won't need more than that. It does only have dual-channel memory, but even in the future, I'm doubtful you're going to get more than 16 gigabytes of memory. Alright, so next we're going to be moving on to our hard drive. We are going to be getting a mainstream 320 gigabyte, 5400 RPM hard drive. And so this is, again, it's nothing fancy here, just a simple hard drive that will get the job done for you. Again, this is one definitely where we were very restricted by the price, and if you were actually gonna build this, I'd say spend the extra $15 and get a 7200 RPM 500 gigabyte hard drive. Obviously, in this day and age, I would love to get an SSD, but that was just we'd get a 64 gigabyte. I don't even think you could get that for $45 nowadays. So this is a gaming PC, and you want to fit some games. You can fit quite a few, especially indie titles, on 320 gigabytes, and 5400 RPM isn't that great. You only want more 7200, but it's not so slow that'll be affecting your gameplay. Some of you also might be wondering, it says this is a laptop hard drive, and yes it is, but if you notice, it's 2.5 inch. So when you do buy a laptop hard drive, if it's 2.5 inch, you just put it where you put an SSD in the case. Our case does have supports for SSDs, or you could use it for like in this case, a laptop hard drive. And so that's what we're going to be doing. You are going to make sure you want to screw this in though because a lot of times when you're putting an SSD, even if, especially if you're using it for yourself and not transporting it, you don't really screw it in because they don't vibrate. But this is a mechanical hard drive; you will need to screw it in. So just word of caution there. For RAM, I went a little bit higher than I wanted to, or actually quite a bit higher than I wanted to. But first thing is, because for buffer raise, I really want to get dual channel. So this is dual channel memory. You got 4 gigabytes. That would be fine. Honestly, higher end PCs, it's great to have 8. And a lot of people are like, oh, get 8. It's a little bit more. But we are restricted to the $250 price range that we want to get this computer within. And this will definitely get the job done. But you might be still saying, ooh, $55 for 4 gigabytes of RAM, isn't that kind of expensive? Well, yeah, but there's a couple factors taken into consideration. This is Kingston. They make good RAM. I've always had a good experience with them. It is dual channel, so you're going to get fast speeds. And it's 1600 megahertz speed RAM too, which I purposely got faster RAM. Normally I go around the 1300 range. Because when you have when you're using integrated graphics, your graphics share the system RAM. And so, like, for example, I have a GTX 650 right now in my desktop, and that has GDDR5 RAM. That is stupid fast. And so, in this case, you're just using DDR3 RAM, and so I want to get a little bit faster, so that's really going to help you. Normally, it doesn't matter, especially if you have a committed graphics card, but in this situation, paying the extra 10-15 bucks might be a difference of 5-10 frames per second, so it can really make a difference. Under our power supply, we're getting a Neutron Series 400 watt ATX power supply. Again, no bells and whistles, but it's $25 after a rebate, so it's pretty cheap. It's very affordable, and it is, I believe, 80 plus bronze certified. Yes, it is. And so again, I'm not junky on being on the 80 plus gold or even platinum, because I really don't think you need it, honestly. I think unless you're really using the full load of it, you don't need all that power. But you do want clean power, you do want reliable power supply, so that means it's 400 watts, that'll be enough for this. Maybe get a little bit higher if you do plan to upgrade, but again, it's about staying within the 250 range here. So yeah, it's no frills, gets the job done. And so a lot of times, finally going to move on to the case here, a lot of times when people are getting a case, they think, oh, I'm just going to go cheap as possible. They go and get a $20 case. And trust me, especially because this is more geared towards first-time builders possibly, if you get a cheapy case, you will hate it. You will hate the build process. You'll be cutting your fingers, and it will just look bad too. And so this, again, is a no-frills case, but it's elegant and it looks nice. See, that it looks, it looks pretty nice. It has all the things you would expect in a case. It supports MATX motherboards, and it is pretty small too, because you don't need a ton of space at this price range. Considering you only have one hard drive, I would never put more than 2 hard drives, or maybe a hard drive and an SSD in later. I would never do more upgrading than that. By the point when you're getting to that amount of money, you want to go for just build a new computer and go for a more expensive computer. So it's small, it looks good, it's elegant, and it's still pretty affordable. 40 bucks isn't bad. Alright, so drum roll please. The grand total of this build with tax out the door. Well, I don't want to say out the door because you do have a $10 rebate, but they are a hassle, but you get the money. You eventually get the money. It's $254.94. So, $5 over, but if you didn't include tax, it would actually be under, and it's still ridiculously cheap. That's half the price of an Xbox One, and that's what the last gen console is going for nowadays. And so, yeah, you're not going to be playing new AAA titles, but you can play some pretty fun indie games, some older games, and you can just really enjoy this this computer. And you get all the great things about PC gaming, and you get the productivity just from a normal PC. I don't think this would be that bad of a PC just for daily use anyways. And obviously you get to build it, you get to learn from that, you get to enjoy that, and it does have some upgradability. So if you want a nicer PC in the future, you do have a little bit of upgradability here. Not a ton, but you have a few options you could do. Put another 150 bucks into it. Alright, thank you for listening. This is the Teen Tech. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and if it would be great if you could subscribe. It really helps us out. So this has been the Teen Tech, and thank you for watching.